and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Well, like 2 days ago, I made a clip about Netflix putting in a $87 billion offer to buy Warner Brothers. And I wrung my head in my hands and I was upset because it's like a case of a super dominant company in a marketplace buying one of its competitors. And that's like bad antitrust law. And I wish Lena Khan was back and et cetera, et cetera. And then this morning, a brand new piece of that puzzle makes me want to cover it again. Because from the top ropes, dude, from the top ropes, let me add chat back. From the top ropes comes Paramount with a even bigger $108 billion hostile bid. Hostile. To try and shake up this whole thing. So the bidding war is heating up. The battle for Hollywood is heating up. The mergers and acquisitions is heating up. And I want to break down what this means because this kind of throws a wrench into everything. And allows me to cover some things I missed in the first time around. So Paramount gate crashes Warner Brothers Netflix deal with a $108 billion hostile bid of their own. Now, hostile, by the way, if you wonder what that means, why is it hostile? Well, it's hostile because Warner Brothers already picked Netflix. Okay, the board of Warner Brothers had all the offers and they said, we're going to go with Netflix. And then Paramount is going to the public. It's basically hostile as they're saying, we're going to pay any shareholder of this company more per share to give us your shares so they can try to get a majority of it and move it in their direction. Basically, they want the shareholders to vote and ignore the board and go to Paramount. So it's a hostile thing. We're here to finish what we started. We put the company in play. So this is David Ellison that said that he owns Paramount. And I want to give you a little background here. David Ellison is this guy with a very punchable face. He is the son of the world's second richest man, Larry Ellison, a friend of Trump and the owner of Oracle. Okay? At one point during this year, Larry Ellison here was the richest man in the world. He passed Elon Musk, largely because of Oracle stock spiking, because of that round-tripping OpenAI NVIDIA stuff. So he's got his fingers in a lot of pies, bro. But his son is involved in this battle here. Okay? So here are the two offers. $82.7 billion from Netflix, $108.4 billion from Paramount. Couple key things. This offer is cash plus stock. So you get Netflix stock. And this offer is all cash. All cash, baby. Direct, all cash. So why would the shareholders pick this one? Why is the Netflix board, the Warner Bros. Board currently picking this one and not this one? Let's go into it. There's a lot to talk about. First of all, one thing I didn't mention last time is that Warner Bros. Discovery, if you don't know, is a fucking Katamari ball of crap. It is a amalgam. It is a mush. It is a giant slime of a million different things. There is so much crap in here. There are so many different networks and studios and properties and IP and game studios, and it's all under this Warner Bros. Discovery umbrella. And one thing that's unique about Netflix's offer is they aren't trying to buy all of it. Netflix said, take all that, cut it in half. We only want this part. Netflix said, we'll give you $82.7 billion, and all we want is HBO, New Line Cinema, Warner Brothers Studios, DC, Harry Potter. We want the good part. The part over here, the part on this side, the part that has like Discovery and TNT and Cartoon Network and TBS and Food and CNN and Adult Swim, and we don't want any of that crap. Also, a lot of debt. They don't want all that. They don't want the debt and the crap and the sports and they just want the high quality IP and the HBO and the Wire and the Game of Thrones. They basically want what Netflix might want. What's going to fill out the Netflix backlog? You know what they really want is Friends. Friends. Basically, Netflix's goal is to kind of recreate cable. They want to get all the content on there so they can charge you 50, 70 bucks. And it's just the one-stop shop. We had cable, we had all these streaming services, now we're going back to cable. Netflix just wants to put all the good shows on one channel. You full circle back to that's what they want. By the way, we all want Friends. Is a very funny chat message. Okay? So they don't want this crap. This is what they want. Netflix only wants this. Under Netflix's plan, this stuff would go with them, and this stuff would be its own new company called Discovery Global. This company is going to be fucking doomed. This company has like nothing of value and a ton of debt. This company's going to be in the shitter, but it's going to exist. It has the rights to NASCAR, by the way, the TV rights to NASCAR. It'll have some stuff. I mean, it's going to have a lot of debt, but maybe they can figure it out, but it'll be its own thing. So Netflix only wants this. Paramount, which is offering a much more money, wants all of it. They want the whole pie. They want everything. In fact, CNN is a big part of why they might want it. Paramount wants everything. That's a bit why they're charging more. But one of the first questions you might have if you follow these companies or this industry at all is like, hey, $108.4 billion is a lot of money. That makes it one of the biggest acquisitions ever done in human history. $184 billion, that's a lot of money. Isn't Paramount like way too small for that? Isn't Paramount like absolutely not able to afford this? Because Paramount as an entire company is worth $15 billion. Like the whole fucking company. Paramount Skydance Incorporated is worth $50 million. So where are they getting $108 billion to buy Warner Brother, a much bigger company? Well, it turns out there's three major sources of that money that they don't have. Number one is daddy's money. Some part of it comes from old Peepaw, okay? He might have pitched in to help his son get over the line. Number two is Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law. Jared Kushner is helping organize funds raised for this takeover. And number three is the Saudis. Actually, a couple, not even just the Saudis, a couple Middle Eastern sovereign wealth funds. So this money is partnering with Paramount, who doesn't have a lot, to give them the $108 billion to outbid Netflix. Okay? It's kind of a nightmare blunt rotation. Kushner, Gulf money, and desperate texts inside Paramount's hostile bid for Warner Brothers. This is like they basically saw Netflix's offer and like put together a who's who of the worst global blunt rotation to get $100 billion quick. They were like frantically texting everybody who could get money together to try and pull together a bigger offer quickly, which is what they did to put out this $108 billion offer. So again, though, at the end of the day, where the money comes from doesn't really matter to the Warner Brothers shareholders. If I own 10 shares of Warner Brothers, do I want to get paid $27 a share in a little bit of cash, some stock? Or do I want to get paid like $30 a share in cash right now? I just want the money. At the end of the day, these guys aren't fucking heroes. They just own Warner Brothers stock. Do they not just want more money? Here's the reason they might not be taking this. This is why they picked this offer and not this one. First of all, when asked about it, they said, look, we're worried. They basically want to pick the deal that's most likely to go through. And they're worried that if they pick this deal, the Middle East money would invite national security scrutiny. The idea that, hey, like, is the government going to block this if it's allowing the Middle East to have total control over one of America's biggest studios? I don't know. They're worried about that. So they'd rather take the money that's more guaranteed. Additionally, they are worried that, the financing might fall through and the deal might not close in the terms required. So they're looking for a rock solid guarantee, and they think Netflix offers that to them more than Paramount. But Paramount shareholders might still say, look, man, I want the more money. And if they vote for this offer, it'll go for this offer. That's still, the vote is coming up, but they could override this. Additionally, Netflix, I mentioned this before, but Netflix put in a guarantee. They said, basically, if you choose us and the deal doesn't go through for any reason, we'll pay you $6 billion as a breakup fee just because, which is pretty fucking confident because that's a lot of money. So Netflix is putting a lot on the line to determine they can get it through. Now, is there risk with that? Yes. The risk is Donald Trump. The risk is Donald Trump because Donald Trump today said, look, the Netflix deal to buy Warner Brothers, well, that could be a problem because of market share and such. They could have too much market share. Now, I've never known Donald Trump to give a fuck about monopoly or market share. But all of a sudden, he's like, well, we don't know. We don't know if we don't want Netflix to have too much market share. So he might be getting involved. And why would Trump be getting involved? Why would he care about this particular thing? Because when they asked him about it, a day after this quote, he said, look, I don't know anything about the deal. I don't even know anything about it. And then when they asked him a day after that, he said, I know the companies very well. I know what they're doing. Actually, this wasn't even a day later. This was the same day. This was the same day. These two quotes are the same day. Okay? So why does he care? His opinion is very important. He has like near total control of the government, and he can allow certain things or certain deals to go through. This is going to need government approval. Netflix is super confident they can get the deal through, $6 billion, because Ted Sarandos, the CEO of Netflix, met with Trump. He pitched him on the deal. Trump came out of the meeting and said, Ted Sarandos is a great guy. He's great for Hollywood. He's good American. That's what Trump said. So Ted thinks, okay, this is going through. I'm confident. But in recent days, Trump has been shifting his opinion. He's been kind of backing out. He's been kind of saying, well, this Netflix thing could be a problem, which is shaky. And why is he doing that? And I want to explain. It is because the Ellisons are like the new Murdoch family. They're a new media dynasty shaking up the United States. This guy right here wants to be a media tycoon. Let's walk through it, okay? Donald Trump is friends with Larry Ellison, who owns Oracle, which is one of the biggest parts of the current AI boom / bubble, whatever you want to call it. Oracle, one of the biggest companies behind it, which might be getting, on its own, this might be getting government backstops. This might get government bailouts, by the way, coming down the line. But okay, this is the thing. Larry Ellison, his son David Ellison, owns a small media company called Skydance. Not that big, not that powerful. How does he suddenly become a major player? He raises $400 million from who? From his daddy. David Ellison raises $400 million from his own dad and turns Skydance into a major player, which then buys Paramount. So now it's Paramount Skydance, owned by David, who is under the thumb of his father, Larry. Okay? And as part of this deal, where Skydance is allowed to buy Paramount, they have to settle a 60 Minutes lawsuit that basically was Trump suing 60 Minutes for saying they made Kamala Harris look too good. They edited her interview to look too good. So as part of this deal, the government's like, no, you can't buy it until you've solved that problem. And all of a sudden, Paramount pays Trump $16 million. Okay. And they agree to never be biased. Okay, we're going to stop being biased at CBS. So after they do that, Trump allows this deal to go through. All of a sudden, this merger's allowed. So it's kind of like the merger's blocked unless it makes a major news org be more pro-Trump. So now all of a sudden, what do we have? We have Skydance owning Paramount, which owns CBS News and MTV and Comedy Central. And all of these things are now being nicer towards Trump. A nice virtuous cycle. Okay? Then, what else though? What else? So additionally, what's the next major steps? Because now that Trump's been benefited here, all of a sudden you're noticing a couple things. Number one, TikTok and now Warner Brothers seem to be heading towards possibly being here. TikTok to Oracle and Warner Brothers possibly to Paramount, which would allow this family to have massive media control. They would own CBS News. They would own CNN. They would own HBO. They would own TikTok, TikTok US. Okay? And they would all be under this very rich family that's friends with Trump. You can see how this is the beginnings of a media empire, and he's using his government power to help make that happen. So, back to this deal. I am a person who, in the last video, talked about how much I don't want Netflix to get this deal. And it's crazy, the year 2025, where I have to choose between lesser of two evils, where now I'm kind of like, I guess I have to support this? Because the alternative is like an openly, nakedly corrupt takeover as part of like a clearly partisan media empire. It's like, ideally, neither of these happen. These are both bad for competition, for the streaming market, for for media. Like, they're both bad. But of the two, I'm actually more supportive of Netflix because all they want is money. All Netflix wants is to charge you more for Netflix. I can just pirate things. At the end of the day, I can just pirate Friends. But if this happens, it's like another media arm controlled by a government that's like very partisan. So look, zooming out a bit, Paramount owns a lot of things you might know. A lot of famous movies and franchises. They own SpongeBob, they own fucking MTV and Yeah, they have Young Sheldon, okay? Paramount has a lot of IP. And if they were to merge with HBO Max, it would be a pretty big powerhouse in streaming. But it wouldn't be that big. It wouldn't be, it's like the number, I think Paramount's probably like the 5th biggest streamer, and HBO's like the 3rd or 4th. So if they merged up, they wouldn't be as big as Netflix still, and it wouldn't be super bad for competitive dynamics. But this part would be bad. On the other hand, Netflix owns a massive library of content and is by far the biggest streamer. Okay? If Netflix, the number 1, were to be allowed to merge with the number 4, that is so openly anti-competitive. That's like day one antitrust stuff. Like, under any normal antitrust administration, they would not allow the biggest competitor in the market to buy one of its biggest challengers, because that just freezes out the market, makes one superpower that can charge whatever the fuck they want. It's just like essentially closer to a monopoly. Okay? Both of these have downsides, and ideally both would get blocked. But of the two, I guess I'm a little bit partial to the Netflix one. Now, the stocks of both of these companies have done poorly, actually, because it's looking like there might be a bidding war. And the one thing the market hates is a bidding war, because it means both these companies are going to lose. They're going to jack up the price for what is actually a pretty shitty company, Warner Bros. Discovery. So there's a bidding war. But Netflix is much bigger. Netflix stock way down on this news. People don't want them to have to outbid $100 billion. The only winner so far is Warner Brothers, whose stock is soaring because this nearly dead company, saddled with debt and bad management, is about to get a bailout Activision Blizzard style. Okay, they're doing quite well. And in fact, if you want to buy $30 for $27, if you think the Paramount merger will happen, if you think this one's going to happen, the bottom one, well, this is $30 a share cash. So if you think this is going to happen, you can buy a share for $27 today and get $30 in January. Like, theoretically, if you think it's going to happen, that's a guaranteed $3 profit. The market doesn't know yet, and so it's bouncing around the Netflix number. But if you thought that it was going to go higher, then that's what's going to happen. People are losing, though. People who are not Warner Bros. Shareholders are losing. Whether it's higher prices in the future, whether it's a more consolidated media partisan environment, or whether it's people on my Reddit who had an internship application at Warner Bros. Discovery and then found out it was canceled. The role was canceled because they no longer care about hiring people because they're just selling out the company. Okay? That is the downside. So at the end of the day, if I want to sum it all up, I want to give you an update on what's going on. My summation here is that I really fucking wish Lina Khan was back. Antitrust is important, bro. It benefits you and me and everyone by making a more competitive, fair environment. It's great. One key theme of my content is that I hope you care about it. and fight for it. It's one of the best single things a government can do to make your life better. We miss you, Lena. Thanks for watching. Okay, that's my update. Hope you enjoyed. That'll be up on the Clips channel tonight. We're doing a quick turnaround. Boop, 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 boop. What's this? New offer? The Onion still got it, bro. Plex submits a $35 bid for Warner Brothers. That's good. Fucking take it, bro. Just fucking just take it, bro. Solved. You got a lowball. Let's go out of the deal. The art of the deal. Bro, thank you, Grok, by the way. See on the right here? Thank you, Grok. The Onion satirical article humorously depicts Plex, a media server app known for personal libraries, submitting a $35 installment-based bid to acquire Warner Brothers. Mocking the inflated... Just explaining the joke for 3 paragraphs. This exaggeration contrasts Plex's free ad-supported catalog of... I'm so glad, dude. People who frequent, what's the subreddit where they ask Peter Griffin to explain the joke? What's that subreddit called? Ask Peter. Explain it, Peter. That subreddit, viewers love Grok. People who might have had parents that loved avoiding headaches. Love Grok, bro. WB owes $2.8 billion to Netflix if they take the Paramount deal. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm sure the Ellisons would cover that. As far as I know, Larry Ellison said, that's not even our final offer. We can go higher. He's a bad negotiator. Or David Ellison. My understanding is they said, look, $108 billion cash, and it's not even our final offer. If we want to negotiate, we can go higher. So I think they really fucking want it. But it's just crazy because it's not even worth that much, bro. It's so wild. They're going to mismanage the It's like the Saudis that bought EA, bro. They're going to lose money. They paid way more than it's worth. They're going to try to milk it, and then it's just ridiculous. It's a disaster.